How do you feel when your daughter unwraps a gift from your parents, and it has someone else's name on it? I just looked at that dress. No tears, no scenes. The next morning they got it back with a note they will never forget. The package arrived Saturday morning. Not for any special occasion, but simply because my parents are big fans of family involvement, preferably remote and in a box. You know, like help only without the actual help. On the box is the stereotypical pink ribbon. A couple stickers with stars and hearts on them. Mother's handwriting on the sticker. For Maya. With love. Grandma and Grandpa. I sensed a catch at this point, but decided not to ruin the kid's holiday. It's her birthday. 8 years old. An age when you still believe there's magic behind every bow. You don't repeat the mantra. A gift isn't about the thing, it's about the relationship. No. You just enjoy it. Maya ripped open the wrapping as if happiness itself lay within. Pulled out a dress. Pink airy with stars. Immediately she clutched it to her chest. She smiled the way children can smile sincerely, all over her cheek. And then, there came a moment that seemed to be heard even through the walls. Mom! She frowned, reading the writing on her chest aloud. Little Emily. And right there all the air from the kitchen just went out. No smoke, no sound. Just out. Maya's looking at me waiting. And I'm standing there. I don't talk. I look at that rag in her hands and I think, you fucking had it. Yes, mentally I said it louder and dirtier. But out loud, of course, I just smiled. I didn't bother explaining anything to the kid. It's not her fault her grandparents have chronic amnesia for living people. They must have gotten the inscription wrong, I said. Who's Emily? Maya asked. No one. I cut off. I lied. But only because it was too soon to tell the truth. Even me, I didn't want to tell it to myself. Until that day. In the evening I sat in the kitchen holding a cup and looking out the window. Outside the window fall rain, someone was dragging a garbage can across the asphalt. Monotonously. And right there, in this complete domestic silence, a memory like a rough slab to the back of my head. My 6th birthday. Balloons, a tablecloth with purple butterflies, a box of cake. I'm sitting in a dress with a bow. Trying to remember the moment. Trying very hard to be nice, neat, not to get dirty, not to yell, not to get in the way. And then Emily walks in a pink sequin dress. She's older, about 5 years older. All heads turn. Mom claps her hands. Oh, Emily, what a beauty you are. Dad, you're definitely our model. I'm standing there like a random kid who was called by mistake. Mom, isn't it my birthday today? I ask hesitantly. And I hear back. Don't start. Don't ruin the party. And that's it. That's it. The beginning. Emily was always the heroine of a big movie called Family, and I was her cameraman. Only my camera never worked. When Emily started her blog, my mom used to carry her phone around like a Bible. When she dropped out of college because she had her own way of seeing the world, Dad said. Well, she's creative. Not everyone gets to be Gray. Oh, I love being called Gray. Especially those who are on my payroll. Then there was Startup. Emily, all advanced in a jacket with a presentation on her iPad. Natural cosmetics. Organic only. Pure formulation only. The girls and I are going to do subscription deliveries. The market is hungry. I thought at the time, if the market is hungry, I'm exhausted. Because some of us are carrying bags of groceries and some of us are selling air. But my parents, of course they believed it. Oh, how they believed. They invested. And they asked me to invest. What do you mean, asked? You're a sister. Support is sacred. Sacred, yeah. Like a 2-family mortgage and 3 loans in my name. When it all fell apart, Emily vanished. Like a Holy Spirit. Websites blank. Phone out of range. And then surprise. I get a call from the bank. Did you take out a loan for $19,500 and a half? What? When? Where? The documents are yours. Your passport matches. Yeah, it was my passport. Except I wasn't the one standing behind it. And that's the moment, not even when I signed the police report, but when my mother said I was overreacting. That's the moment I realized. I'm not a person. I am a function. A financial one. Emotional. Harvesting. For 3 years I've been pulling everyone out. 2 jobs. Maya. Household. Loans. My parents didn't just not help. They sat on my neck and whined that it was hard for them, because my grandchildren were taking away my strength. Let's be clear. They have one grandson. I'm raising him. But I put up with it all. Why? Because somewhere deep in my head I was like, they've been hurt too. We were hurt by Emily together. And then the dress arrives. Pink. It's rhinestone. It says, Little Emily. Like a thin spit on an old wound. Only it's not subtle. And not a spit. It's a full spit smeared over a card that says, Love. I didn't call. I didn't make a scene. I didn't write accusatory letters. I took the dress. I put it in a box. I put a note in the box. You've lost one daughter. I'm the one left. But you didn't notice. She wrote the same address. Ohio. And the next morning she mailed it. No tears. No hysterics. With the full sense that I'm not closing a box. I'm closing the door. If you've ever tried to gently pull a splinter out of your finger after 3 days of ignoring it, you'll know how I felt when I sent that box of dresses back to my parents. On the outside it barely hurt at all. Inside pus, shivers, and a sharp realization. It had been there too long. After the shipment there was silence. A day 2-3. No call, no squeak. No attempt to explain, no surprised messages like, oh, we got our names mixed up. Nothing. As if a pink dress with someone else's name on it is normal. And anyway, why am I being dramatic? I was dramatizing silently, by the way. I sat down at the kitchen table and for the first time in a couple of years, opened a full table of expenses. Mortgage, utilities, daycare, insurance, food. And then there was a column I'd never noticed before. Mom and Dad. Automatic transfers. Every 15th of the month. Stable, reliable like the IRS. And so this Saturday, so to speak, I gave myself an audit. Turned off the autopay. Deleted the reminders. Closed their accounts from online access. No, I didn't abandon them. I just gave them back their financial independence, which they said they'd always been proud of exactly until it required work. 5 days passed. Everything was quiet, suspiciously quiet. And then it started. The call. Dad. I didn't answer it. To be honest, I looked at the screen like an old dog that has already bitten, but you're still not sure if it will pounce again. Next, Mom. Then a message. We got the package. We need to talk. There's been a misunderstanding. Oh, how convenient. A misunderstanding. The fact that you even associate your granddaughter with your golden runaway is not ignoring, not rejection, not systemic blindness. It's oops, that came out awkward. I stayed silent. But alas, this little game of ignore quickly devolved into the family blackmail on the minimap phase. The next message is a photo. They're sitting at the table. Empty plate, slumped posture. Caption. We didn't eat anything today. But that's okay, you're busy. Followed by a voicemail from Mom. We don't have enough. We just don't. We're not judging you. We love you. It's just, you could think about us for once instead of your resentment. A resentment. I wonder what they call processing a loan in my name? A petty family whim? And just when it looked like the bottom had been reached, someone knocked from downstairs. An unsigned number. I open it. A message. Hi. It's Emily. First time in 5 years. No call, no email, no warning. No, I'm sorry. No, how are you? No, where was my brain when I put you in debt? Just, this is Emily. Just like that, no preamble. As if she hadn't returned from a con, but from a short vacation in Vermont. Although I don't think they'd let her into Vermont even with a fake passport. Followed by, I hear things are complicated with my parents. I can't fly in right now, but maybe you could talk to them. Of course. She can't. She's busy, probably building her career again, or changing her last name. I didn't answer. One day, a second, and then I couldn't take it anymore and wrote one. You live with them? The answer came immediately. It was as if she'd been sitting on the phone. A couple weeks. Just until I get settled. It's just hard for me on my own, you know? Yeah, I totally understand. Only with me it was called 2 jobs and a kid. Not spreading my suitcase at my parents' house and eating at someone else's expense. The next day they came. No warning. As always, not to give me a chance to say no. I opened the door. And there was my mom with a bag and my dad who was holding a cake. The same one I'd once ordered for Maya. "We want to talk," Mom said. As if we just hadn't seen each other in a while, and I hadn't sent the truth in wrapping paper to their faces. We sat down in the kitchen. Maya was at a friend's house. Husband at work. I was alone. Against a family delegation. They started from afar. They remembered how Maya liked to draw. How they went to the museum with her last year. As if that could erase decades of neglect. And then it came out. "You weren't fair. We didn't choose between you. It's just that Emily, well, she's still our daughter." "What am I? A notary?" The father added. "When she came back, she had a hard time. She was sorry. She didn't know how to say it. But we did, we couldn't kick her out. But you could keep quiet that she was living with you? And that the money I was sending you was going to her?" I asked. My voice was strangely calm, even to myself. As if I were talking about taxes, not my broken life. My mother looked down at the floor. "You're the strong one. And she's..." I stood up. Not with anger. No yelling. Just tired. "You know, I'm tired of being strong just because you've made me the only person in this family who can be treated like a free, all-inclusive option." They were silent. I walked to the door and opened it. "You can go now. I have nothing more to give you." They left. Their cake was left on the floor. No signature, no candles. I put it in the fridge. 2 days later I threw it out. I never opened the box. That night I went to bed in silence. And for the first time I didn't wait for a call. I didn't check my messages. I didn't imagine someone saying, "You were right. And you know what? I don't need that anymore." And you know what's ironic? I've spent all this time trying to prove that I'm part of the family, that I'm worthy of love, attention, some simple thank you. The irony is that while I was pulling them out of the holes, they only rolled their feelings deeper into them, and me along with them. I remember paying for my mom's medication when she had back pain. She'd call, saying the pharmacy wouldn't accept her card. I'd run out at lunchtime, buy everything. Then a week later I happened to find a receipt for a new coffee machine in their kitchen. Apparently, the pain went away with the cappuccino. Or how my dad said he couldn't afford to go to the dentist, then a month later posted a picture of his new lawnmower in a general chat room. No teeth, but a perfect lawn just the way they like it. I didn't even get mad. Not at first. I just started to realize that they didn't see my care as love, but as something they took for granted. Like a free subscription. A secure, non-refundable subscription. When I closed their accounts, I didn't feel angry. I felt mature. Calm. Like they'd never accepted me before. Resilient, no longer needing their acceptance. And therefore no longer comfortable. They didn't want a grown-up daughter. They wanted a babysitter with a wallet for life. And preferably without an opinion. But I'm not an attendant anymore. In the morning I got up as usual, brewed my coffee, and for the first time I didn't look at my phone. Not with expectation, not with anxiety. Just lay on the table like a thing. Not as a source of pressure, manipulation, or other people's expectations. It's been exactly 1 year. No calls. No comeback calls. No pictures in Messenger of a cat with a "we miss you" sign. Once I think my mom liked an old picture of Maya, and that was probably by accident. It's not silence, it's sterility. The kind you see in a hospital room after you've been discharged. Everything's washed, cleaned. All that's left is the echo, and it's not mine. I stopped checking my email. Not even because I was afraid of seeing their name. There's just no point anymore. I don't need any news from the other side. Things are different for us now. Not in the happiness over the rainbow sense, no. Just life without the constant corrosion. Without feeling like you have to fix everything while everyone else is happily breaking things. It's August. It's warm. Maya is in the backyard building a house out of boxes. She says it's her space. It's funny, right? At 8 years old, she already understands that personal boundaries are a necessity, not a whim. Husband's mowing the lawn. Silently as always. We've learned to live without too many words. In the house, there is no longer a need to explain every emotion, to calibrate intonation so as not to offend Mom. You can just be here. Sometimes I catch myself that I have begun to forget their voices. Not all at once, not abruptly. It's just that the memory was crowding out everything else. It's like my brain did a cleanup job on its own. Left only the important things. Maya, her husband, the smell of coffee in the morning. Dad doesn't call anymore. Neither does Mom. Emily is rumored to have changed cities again. Somewhere out there she's looking for opportunity again. Probably with a new name by now. The house makes sense, by the way. I found out by accident from a neighbor they sold it. Literally for pennies. Apparently a new life requires new debts. I didn't ask where they moved to. Why would I? This information is as useful to me as the old phone number of a cab service that no longer exists. Sometimes people ask me if I don't miss them. Don't I want to go back, fix things up, talk? No. I missed them while I was there. While I was in their house. While I was trying to earn it. That's where the loneliest place was, inside. Not now. Now I choose not to suffer. Not to relive every message. Not to keep the door open just in case. We don't have a back entrance for ghosts in our house now. One day Maya asked, Mom, if Aunt Emily came to visit, would you let her in? I set the cup on the table. Looked at her. No, Maya. I don't let anyone in who once walked out spitting in my face. She nodded. No drama. Just understood. Children in general have a better sense of boundaries than adults who've been told since childhood. Be patient. They're family. Recently, I've been going over my bank statements again. Not because I'm worried. It's because it's nice to see that everything's in place. Not a single extra transaction. Not a single shadow on the list of recipients. My life doesn't leak between the lines now. I've started reading again in the evenings. Drawing with Maya. Laughing. Sometimes loudly. Sometimes quietly in my voice. No pain. No falseness. And most importantly, I no longer wake up thinking, what's wrong this time? Because everything is the way it's supposed to be. And if anyone asks where I am now, the answer is simple. I'm home. Only now for real. It's amazing how quickly the stress goes away when you just stop being a source for others. I used to wake up thinking about who to help today, who to shut down, where to plug another hole. Now I wake up with one task: to be. Not to save. Not to tolerate. Just to be. I started noticing smells. No, not metaphorically. I really stopped living on automatic. Morning bread. The smell of grass after a rainstorm. Coffee that no one cools because no one yells from the doorstep. Washing dishes became meditation, not payback for, there you go again, leaving everything behind. We bought a chair. A very ordinary, soft, high-back chair. It's comfortable to sit in with a book. And it's the first time I don't think, what if Mom comes, she won't like it? It's the first time I don't think about whether someone will like the way I live my life. I got a letter the other day. Not from them. From a lawyer. Turns out one of the loans Emily had made on me hadn't closed after all. I wasn't scared anymore. I just exhaled. I called, I explained, I forwarded the paperwork, I attached the references. No panic. No trembling in my voice. No thinking, what did I do wrong? Because I know I did the right thing. I once thought letting go meant giving up. But in reality it turned out to be a way of living. Without compromise, where you always lose. We have Maya's drawings in our kitchen now. Not just magnets, not just postcards. They're her actual drawings. One is of the three of us. We're holding hands. And on the back it says, my family. Mom, Dad, and me. Without Emily. No grandma. No grandpa. No other people's shadows. Just the ones who are really there for me. And even though it sounds petty, I bought myself a dress. Also pink. Not because I wanted to be someone else, but because now I can. And there's no name on it. Just me. In this house, in this life, in this skin. And that's enough. I haven't forgiven. This isn't a story about forgiveness. It's a story about boundaries. About the importance of not letting someone else's guilt become your responsibility again. Let everyone live with their choices. Mine led me to freedom. Freedom not to save those who are dragging me down. Freedom not to explain the obvious. Freedom not to be good for someone else's convenience. To just be alive. I don't need a stage. I'm not an actress in a family tragicomedy. I'm an audience member who left at intermission and never came back. And let them play on in front of an empty auditorium. I now know that family is not about those who share your last name, but those who don't share your guilt. Maya and I were making a cake. She's covered in flour like a little chef. And suddenly she says, you smile in the morning now. You didn't before. And that was the moment of truth. because I realized the kid had noticed. And if I had a chance to convey something to that 10-year-old self who stood in Emily's shadow, I would say only one thing. You don't have to earn love, especially where it's long gone. I know that for a fact now. Not with books, not with quotes, but with my skin, with my body, with 24 hours without anxiety. I'm no longer the one who stayed. I'm the one who left and never came back. I don't explain to anyone why I don't go to my parents' house. I don't make excuses, I don't lie about being busy. I just don't go. That's it. No explanations to adults who made their choice a long time ago, and it wasn't in my favor. No one is obligated to stay in a cage just because the walls are nicely painted. Sometimes the bravest decision is to step out of the role. Not to fight. Not to explain. Just get up and walk away. I walked away. And in that silence I finally heard myself.